Okay, so I know I'm getting really close because we're right next to this river lake thing, and it's frozen. And I know when I came here in what you call it, back in the summer when I was, well, I guess you call it fall. It wasn't cold yet. Right now it's winter. I passed by this bridge, me and my compadres, and we're getting close to the oak tree that I saw back in fall.
Some may ask, why am I filming this adventure? Well, one, me showing you how you can turn an ordinary day into an education on a fun day. 2, teaching the importance of heritage sites. And 3, bring up the discussion of global warming.
Look at this shaggy dog right here. Wow, it's a lot of hair.
Sir Charles Lyell, the British lawyer and geologist, was one of the prime researchers in his field, also associated with working with Charles Darwin. He was fascinated by the retreat to water that could be found in Stockholm. He was skeptical of the massive decrease and investigated the area in 1835. He found an old oak tree halfway between the watershed and the water and used it as a measurement tool to see how much water has really decreased. He drew a picture of the area and submitted it as proof that the decrease is less than what was believed. Several years later, in 1840, that current theory of land rise was proposed. Here you will find a lake where the current water levels are at. If you're going to look for the old oak, don't be confused with this big tree. But it's actually referring to this oak tree, which was named right after him. If you follow this path and you follow where the direction of the arrow is leading to, you'll find that this oak tree right here is where the water levels were approximately estimated to be. Now, my question is, how does global warming play an effect to today's statistics compared to the 1830s?
I am here to say our house is on fire. According to the IPCC, we are less than 12 years away from not being able to undo our mistakes.
According to Greta and actual experts, the 12 years later has actually happened, Earth is still around. If the ocean is actually rising, how does it affect the Swedish archipelagos? If Industrial Revolution began roughly around 1760 into 1840, and the ice caps have been melting ever since then, I would assume, from my opinion, the lake would be closer to the oak tree. In geopats, there's an actual counter studies proving that the Earth is actually getting colder instead of warmer. I do believe that mankind is still responsible for changing the weather, but in a sense, it's geoengineered and caused by humans to manipulate the weather. Examples of patents created to geoengineer the weather and companies creating direct energy weapons. Who's to say that our weather is not being engineered for the purpose to manipulate and use the weapons instead? Let's talk about the global elite pawns. It's hard to believe that NATO isn't paving a way to begin their plan in 2030 to reach net zero by 2050 without the military force. When you read the NATO Green Bill, and every other word incorporates the use of military action. It's hard to believe they're not manipulating the weather for climate change and these green bills when the government's trust level is at its very lowest. It's hard to believe these people are actually genuine.
I just barely got droney on this little tiny landing spot. Look at that. I'm still a beginner at flying drones, but I mean, I didn't want to risk getting snow inside the motor or the sensors, so I had to improvise. And I mean, it's a decent parking job. Hey, friends and family, so just a little bit of an insight. There's a lot of traditions here in Sweden that I noticed that I really appreciate and I enjoy about their culture here. Now, one of them is, I didn't know about this, but here you can see they have this flame here, usually to indicate, hey, look, we're open, we're inviting, you can come over here. It's also like an indication for like a party. Hey, the party's here, or the fire is lit, literally lit. So that's like, it's pretty nice. Like, it's a nice little tradition. I've only noticed here in Sweden so far. I haven't seen it in like the Baltics, but it's pretty cool. Ignore the chainsaw that's going on in the back. So there's also another little tradition that I've noticed here in Sweden is like every time it's the holidays, like Christmas, they always put these lights out. Like every single building you see here, like all these apartments, they have like these lights, these triangle lights, or they have stars that are out on the windows. So it's like very cute, and like nobody tells them to do it. It's just like tradition. Like, okay, just like United States, it's a tradition to throw Christmas lights on. But in the United States, you know, capitalism, so go big or go home. Everyone decorate their whole house into a giant Christmas tree. But here it's like, it's very subtle. And everybody's like, okay, time to put out the star in front of the window. That's pretty nice. It's a nice little tradition. Hey, for all my Marines out there, you know what I mean. Camp Pendleton, going towards San Diego. Yeah, that's the mini version, but there's only one.
Standing on the edge of my time.